Hi guys. So I've been a little sick. My voice is kind of raspy. If I have to cough or stop and drink water, or if my voice cuts out a little bit, don't make fun of me. I'm trying to talk. It's just kind of a little squeaky and croaky and whatever. But we're going to talk about public transportation today. And I've already talked about a couple other kinds of transportation. We talked about cars, and I talked about getting from country to country, where I briefly kind of mentioned public transportation. I think I mentioned public transportation in the cars video too, but I haven't elaborated on it. So I figured I'd elaborate on it just a little bit. And for those of you who are watching, who live in Europe and currently use public transportation, obviously this is not to inform you. It's for us weirdo Americans who think we need to drive everywhere. We kind of have to drive everywhere in a lot of places because we don't have public transportation that goes everywhere. I'm from a rural area, and like right now I live in a city that has a bus system, but I can't just like go out to the end of my street and catch a bus. Like, you have to walk quite a ways to get to a bus stop. They're just not everywhere. And that bus system, then you have to transfer to the next bigger city to get to the bigger bus system to get to Portland. So our bus system doesn't just take us directly to Portland. If I want to go to Portland without my car, it takes a long time. So, and it's all bus. We don't have like domestic trains, like rural trains or anything. I mean, there's a train by my house, but it's like a cargo train and wakes us up in the middle of the night, whatever. But I really envy like the European train system and underground system and everything, because you can get just about anywhere without a car. I mean, not everywhere obviously, but there's so many places that you can go and you don't need a car. And I like my car. I drive. I have to drive. I don't mind driving, but in some places I would rather not. You know, I'd rather not pay to rent a car and pay for the expensive gas and spend time trying to find a parking place. I'd rather just like, oh, here's our metro stop. Let's walk 3 blocks to it, get on the train, boom, and we're in the place we wanted to go. So something about train systems, specifically like the underground, because I think most of the big major cities have an underground system, at least the ones that I've been to anyway. And some of the smaller cities have an underground as well, or it's just like trains, like, you know, the train station, it's not underground or anything. Even some of the rural areas, like really far out, we had to change trains a couple of times to get to some of the more rural areas, further out areas, but we still got there in not that much less or more time than it would be in a car. It's really comparable. Sometimes it's shorter because no parking, and ta-da, you're there. So anyway, something that I found really helpful when we were on our trip, I bought a bunch of maps before we left because I didn't know that you could get a bunch of free maps at the hostels and stuff, but I'm glad that I bought certain ones because they have something that the ones at the hostel did not have, which is a metro system on the back. And actually, I'll show you a couple. First of all, how cool is it that it's a little pop-up map? I just thought that was really nifty anyway. But this is the one for Lisbon, and I don't know, it's probably not going to be very focused, but on the back of this, it has the metro system, and I don't know if you can tell on this, but they're color-coded, and so the different lines, you know, color-coded, whatever, and they have the little stops along the way. And something that it took us a little while to learn, but we eventually figured it out, is that when you are in the metro station, and you need to figure out, you figure out which line you need to be on. You know, okay, I'm going here, so I need to be on the green line, whatever. To figure out which direction you need to go. This is something that we had problems with in a couple of cities until we finally figured it out. The way that they show which direction it's going is they have the stops at each end, at the extreme ends of whatever line it is, like the green line. They will say, like, this one says Alameda and this one says Oriente on this line right here, this little one. So if you are going this direction, you're going towards Oriente, and you'll look up on a board that says Oriente, and that's the train that you get on. And it will stop at all these places along there that way, but that's the direction it's going. And same thing, if you go towards this says Alameda, then you get on the train that's going towards Alameda to go this direction, right? So I don't know why that didn't make sense to us at first. We were like, huh, we don't get it, but we finally figured it out. So just want to show you again. This is Lisbon. Look how cute. This is Madrid. holy crap, look at all those lines. So sometimes it's a little bit scarier in some cities. There are so many stops. So many stops. I don't think we got lost in Madrid. I think it was Barcelona that we got lost. But anyway, just take some time. Don't freak out. Look at your map. Know what stops you need. A lot of places, like if you're going to a museum, because I'm a dork and I go to museums everywhere. If you're going to a certain museum, a lot of times you can either ask someone, or if you have information about it, it'll actually tell you what stop you need to get off at. Or some places, like if it's such a popular place to go, it'll actually have like in parentheses underneath it, like, you know, whatever the tourist stop is, like Guggenheim or whatever. It'll tell you like this is the stop for this thing. And actually some of them actually when they announce on the subway trains, like when you're on the subway train and it'll say next stop in whatever language is appropriate. Let's say we're in England and they're actually saying it in English. So they'll say, oh, next stop is Piccadilly, you know, whatever. And sometimes if there's something there at that stop, they'll tell you, you know, for such and such museum, blah, 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 if you pay attention, you know. But sometimes you just need to know that that's a stop you need to go on. And you can ask people, you know, whatever, just ask questions. You can go to the tourist information desk, which is at most train stations. I don't think I've ever used them at the underground stations, but you know, whatever, just go and ask questions and they'll tell you. Ask at your hostel, Google it, Google online, see, yeah, of course it's online, Google's online, sorry, sick, my brain is sick right now. So if you just do some checking out, I could probably tell you if you want to know something specific. I'd have to look through my notes, but it's just kind of fun. Like, to me, since I don't get to use public transportation, it's also part of the trip for me. It's part of the fun. It's part of the discovery of the trip. Is like, ooh, we're doing something that we don't normally do, and that's what I would encourage, is doing something you don't normally do. Now, if you are a person that only uses public transportation and you have a driver's license and you go visit a place like here, if you're not from here, and you want to drive, then drive. I mean, that's something that, you know, if that's not something you normally do. But for Americans, I think public transportation would be a novelty for them, would be the excitement of the trip. You can also get passes that save you money, like a day pass or a couple of day passes for a specific city, like a Vienna card or a Berlin card or whatever, that takes you on all, like, you can use it for all the trains and buses, like within the city, trains and buses, so that you don't have to search for money every time. You just flash a card and they either scan it or just look at it or whatever, and they're good. And you can just go ride your bus or ride your train or whatever. It's really helpful. I haven't ever been in a place long enough, or haven't yet used one of those cards, because on that trip, the one that I'm talking about right now, we weren't in any place long enough to merit getting one of those cards, even though, I don't know, we were also trying to save money, and it was really cool to walk places, but sometimes we were walking a lot and we were like, oh, why didn't we just take the train? But it would have been cool to have a card like that in some places. Like, I think in Berlin it would have helped us a lot, because we did take the bus a lot in Berlin. And yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot more to say about that. It's just pretty much underground, domestic trains, whatever. You can have a tourist information desk, or, like, you know, just information desk at train stations also print you out if you need to change trains and stuff. Like, Jared and I have gone to from one city to another that was like a small city to a really small city where you couldn't go directly there. So you had to, like, go to this city, wait 10 minutes, change trains, go to this city, wait 10 minutes, change trains. And so they actually gave us a printout of, like, exactly what platform we needed to be on. You know, it was really, really helpful. So it's not scary for those of you who've not used it, but do heed my warnings about those public places, because remember I said in the thief video, train stations are where people try to rob you a lot. So don't be scared of them, but just be aware, act like you know what you're doing, be prepared. It's always helpful. And yeah, just see if you can work it out. And it's kind of a way to pretend like you actually live there too. That's what I like to do when I go places, is like, if you're using the public transportation system, it's like, oh, I live here, I know what I'm doing, this is my stop, you know, whatever. I just think it's neat. Maybe you don't, I don't know. But sorry for the croaky video. Hopefully next week my voice will be better. And next week I am going away for the weekend. I'm going camping, so The video will either be early, it'll either be Wednesday night if I have time to get it done, or it will be late and it will be like a few days after I normally upload. So don't be scared. It will show up. It will be Budapest and it will be fantastic. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye.